It is Thursday. Greg Brannon is running for the Senate in North Carolina, a seat currently held by Democrat Kay Hagan, Tuesday, May 6th. So we're just over a week away from the GOP primary.
Under a week. Yeah, it's coming Tuesday.
Oh, is it this coming Tuesday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Greg.
Yes, sir.
Greg.
Yes, sir.
Greg.
I thought you were doing Common Core math there, Glenn. I was a little confused.
Yeah, I know. Let me just ask you this question, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're beating Kay Hagan, right? In the polls.
Yes.
Shows you beating Kay Hagan.
Yes.
Shows your opponent, Tillis, not beating Kay Hagan.
Yes.
Okay. But Tillis is ahead right now in the polls for the primary for the GOP.
Just one poll, and that was a skew one. Here's where we got to look at the facts, guys. First off is, I can't thank you enough. Your staff and how you took care of my wife and myself, you guys are phenomenal human beings. I can't thank you enough. Number one.
Let's focus on that.
Yeah, it's true. You guys are, no. Come on. You guys are phenomenal. And it's the whole staff. You walk in that room and the buzz, and when I first saw David and Goliath on the wall, I was like, you guys are tremendous. That's all I can tell you. Your voice for liberty is why we're here. Now, we know this. This is very interesting. We know our internal polls. We know what's happening, and we just know one thing. He stopped attacking Kay Hagan about a few days ago, and the number we heard he spent about $1 million attacking us. So he knows the real numbers. We know what's actually occurring here. When you got Jeb Bush, Mr. Common Core, endorsing him, amnesty, you have him saying about the Second Amendment, the federal government should be practical on the Second Amendment, the federal government.
How is this happening in North Carolina? For the love of Pete, it's North Carolina. Do they think, is there a possibility that the GOP, the voters there, think that maybe they're voting for Mel Tillis? Because
Tom Tillis ain't the guy.
He's not the guy.
Well, we have him taking credits, guys, for all the grassroots work. See, grassroots wins elections. And we know what's out there, and we know how scared they are and what's going on. We see our passion from 18-year-olds to 90-year-olds. It's exciting, but we have a clear contrast here. We'll talk a little bit about the contrast, but I'm telling you, we're voting for something, Glenn. We're voting for liberty, freedom, a true constitution.
Give me the contrast.
Here's the contrast. He said Obamacare is a great idea. We can't afford it. He actually had state exchanges in the House. The Senate stopped it. He has a energy mandate, green energy mandate, 21.5% that cost our state $4.2 billion over the last 7 years. He signed a bill.
Okay, stop.
Common Core too.
Just stop for a second. I'll let you, but I have to look at a picture of a puppy dog because I'm trying to be more Christ-like, and you're filling me with rage, and that's not helpful.
Well, here it is.
Okay.
We're going to do this with love and kindness. See, we'll never attack Mr. Tillis, and if we get through him, Ms. Hagan. We're going to show policy. This goes back to Romans 12:9. Haiti will clean the good. How, Glenn? With genuine love. That is the message of Martin Luther King. That is the message how you change things. We have the truth. We don't have to be angry. We're happy warriors. We're prepared. We studied hard. I've been so honored to be endorsed by Senator Mike Lee. I can't say enough about him. On Monday, Senator Rand Paul is coming to Charlotte to do a rally for our campaign at the NASCAR Hall of Fame at 12 o'clock. This is the battle that's beautiful. Are we the party of Rove, of Jeb Bush, of Common Core, of amnesty? Are we the party of Senator Lee, Senator Paul, Senator Cruz, Amash, Massey? See, this is so pretty and beautiful because the contrast is there. And you and I talked about the first time we were on the radio was a party. We're going to be a two-party system forever. Who are we? And the Whigs, the Federals blew it. And I believe we have an opportunity here to get our party back of the Reagan, of the Goldwater. And a side note, when Senator Lee endorsed, he says we got to stop talking about Reagan and be Ronald Reagan, and he endorsed Greg Brannon. I'm blown away, Glenn.
He's really a remarkable guy. But I will tell you this: he's another guy who's under attack in his own state, and it's a state that should get it. I mean, the Karl Roves of the world are so brilliant and so evil. I mean, I remember when we went to Fox and we were like, oh, wow, it's Karl Rove. And we would joke with him. You're not the evil empire guy. Oh, no. How stupid and blind were we? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And if we have Jeb Bush is our is our big, card, that we're going to pull out and say, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have another Bush. I can't take it. I'm going to become Canadian.
Well, let's look at the facts, though. Last cycle, the architect lost 10 out of 12 elections. All right, so
yes.
we know.
Yes.
We talked this on their TV show. The principles are beautiful. Those 6 pages chain our representatives. See, we know that. We doesn't have men and women that honor it. They give a lip service to it. And everybody, Senator and I were talking about this a few weeks ago, was everybody come election cycle says they're conservative and they're constitutionalist. And we have to have the due diligence to do our work. And that's what's beautiful about this. Everything we talk about is in the bone marrow of every individual. And our message is genderless, again, colorless, religiousless, creedless. That's what makes America many one. And again, you did a show when you're on Fox about the Statue of Liberty's chains being broken off the feet. Give us your tire, give us that. They were leaving feudalism. They were leaving that kind of environment to come for individuals over the collective. And the society in a whole is superior when the individual has an opportunity to succeed and fail. And that's a positive message that we're going to whoop rear end on May 6th.
Tell me about your. Tell me about the grassroots. Tell me about how energized is the Tea Parties. Are they still energized? Is the 9/12 project still energized? How is the ground game?
Awesome. I mean, you have the 9/12s, you have Mr. Matt Kibbe, another warrior for liberty, you have the Freedom Works people all working independently doing their job. It's decentralization. Interesting, there's a couple of radio shows and a couple newspaper articles in the last couple of days, and the people going to the polls are really a little apathetic, except for one. The people supporting Brannon, they're on fire. And it's like, all right, it's just beautiful. We have the colleges across the state painting walls, hanging things from trees. We have, again, I have this 85-year-old lady says, I love the Constitution. Thank you very much for doing this. So the grassroots, we know we have, I think, 75,000 on our Facebook. I think Freedom Works has 150,000 activists in North Carolina alone. We know who's working the polls. It is... Right now, I'm working between patients right now, and I have patients come in and saying, "Hey, I worked your phone bank yesterday. I worked the polls yesterday because we started early voting a couple of days ago." And it's like, oh my goodness, and it's beautiful because it's just beautiful because my patients are coming in who represent North Carolina, and it's just walking in here, and it's like, wow. And I'm telling you, the passion, the momentum is there. Why else would the chamber? Why else would Crossroads? Why would they spend about $1 million in the last 5 days of an election if the inevitable was going to win? See, we took him, and we had a great debate session. We went through this. It articulates because we know his record. He's taking credit for all the conservative movement in the state. That was the grassroots. I think that's arrogant taking that credit.
And Greg, if you keep him under 50%, is it under 40 or 50? Is it 40 or 50?
40.
So you have to keep him under 40 for there to be a runoff between the two of you, right?
Yeah.
And you're convinced that if you can get into a runoff, you take him easily.
Yes, but Glenn, I believe it's going to be very close that one of us, I believe we may have a chance to get to 40. A runoff is the mathematical odds. That's what was going to be there, and I would love that. Then maybe he and I could have a Lincoln Douglas debate, not these 30-second answer stuffs. And I ask him questions, he asks me questions, because I would love that opportunity. But I believe
no chance he's going to agree to that with you, Greg. You toast him. He wouldn't even enter the room in that scenario.
Well, what we're going to do, guys, here, what we're going to do, Stu, is we're going to do this is. We're going to keep doing this, but we're not afraid to go debate. And we went to every single meeting, went to every single town hall. When I go talk, I talk for 15 minutes, and then I answer questions for an hour or two, whatever it takes. And that's the passion here. That's why I'm very optimistic that at the worst-case scenario, we're in a runoff because the establishment's fighting all they can. They're doing everything they can to say Mr. Inevitable. But we understand that we know we have the passion on our side, and all I am is the mouthpiece of the grassroots, guys. The Republicans are arrogant enough that they believe in 2010, the establishment Republicans, that it was them that got the ideas. No, it was the grassroots who want our party back. We want Reagan and Goldwater and Taft.
Greg, I appreciate your candor. I appreciate all of your hard work, and I appreciate the fact that you're under a lot of pressure right now, and you are very optimistic, and it's recharging us because we're seeing all this, quite honestly, propaganda. We were talking about it before we went on the air. All this propaganda from the Karl Roves and everybody else, and the establishment, even the Democratic establishment, They don't want people like you. They don't want people like Bevin. They don't want people like Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. They don't want them. So even if they're Democrats, they're after you guys because they know you guys are the answer to their poison.
Yeah, there's a poll came out 2 days ago, Glenn, sorry to interrupt you, that showed Democrats in this state, 62% of them do not want Hagan to run against Greg Brannon. We're their most feared opponent.
It's just too bad that there's nowhere that anybody listening who's liked all of this, who enjoys what they've heard, who would like to support it. It's just too bad that there's nowhere to go to help out.
Well, since the government doesn't control the internet completely yet, there actually is. Well, GregBrannon.com and of course our BeckBomb.com. But no joke, we need the funds. We've been raising very good money. I think we have over 13,000 to 14,000 individual donations.
What's your average donation?
About $47.
Wow. This is the kind of guy. That's the kind of donation that you want, because nobody walks up to somebody and says, "I gave you $47. It's time that you pay back." So please, and if it's not Greg, find somebody in your area or in the country. These guys can make a huge difference. Greg could get in and make a huge difference. Because if we just had a few rock solid, can you imagine if we had 5, 6 Mike Lee, Rand Pauls, Ted Cruzes, and we could get rid of a few of these really bad guys, either in from the Democrats or from, get rid of the Mitch McConnells of the world and the Lindsey Grahams. Find the guys that you think you believe in. Give them $50. Give them what you can and help them. You are in the last stretch. On Tuesday is the primary, and we will be watching closely, Greg, and we appreciate it, and the best of luck to you, my friend.
Well, guys, I'm telling you, we're voting. When you go against something, that bonds a little bit. But when you show the clear contrast and then vote for something, it's night and day. And that's what this is about. That's why it's so optimistic. We know who's in charge. We just have to do the work and prepare for this. And
I can't believe Tillis is for Common Core, and that's standing in the Carolinas. How is this not a slam dunk?
Because the governor is also for Common Core. Now they turn around to run on it. It is a interesting thing is they put these straw man up election cycle time. They say we're against this, we're against Obamacare, we're against Common Core. But when they had the power to do something, they didn't. See, this is why Article 6, Clause 2 is the crux of our campaign. The Constitution is supreme law in the land and pursuant thereof. Pursuant thereof delineates this. The federal government has 18 functions. The sovereign states become republics. And you listed last hour the states who wanted to leave because all of them ran away from the idea of a republic, right? And the states that run towards a republic are prospering, like the Republic of Texas. And I believe North Carolina, nothing personal, was a lot prettier than Texas. I think we could kick booty over here.
Can I tell you something? We looked at the Carolinas as a place to move. We looked at the Carolinas, both north and south, and would have done it if we weren't still too damn close to New York. Greg, thanks a lot.
Well, guys, you've been tremendous, and it's an honor. I'm going to talk to you on the other side as I'm the candidate against Ms. Hagan, and thank you so much for everything you've done. I truly appreciate your voice for liberty.
You got it. Thanks a lot. Here's that's
GregBrannon.com.
GregBrannon.com, and he's the guy running for U.S. Senate. And boy, would it be good to have just a few of these guys. A few of these guys.
If we could get Brannon and Bevin, just those two would make a massive difference.
Sass
and Ben Sass
would be
awesome.
Quite remarkable.